Welcome, Bart. Thank you so much for coming and thanks for contributing to the panel. I'm really looking forward to it. I was wondering what drew you towards the blockchain and FinTech?
Sure. So I'm passionate about blockchain technology. I have a background as an operating entrepreneur and a hedge fund manager. And for me, the catalytic event for getting into investing in blockchain technology startups was the global financial crisis of 2008. In 2008, we realized that the world was dangerously interconnected and overlevered, and the system as we know it really broke down and failed us in a pretty spectacular way. And in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, blockchain technology and Bitcoin was invented in many ways to right some of the wrongs that were perceived in the systems. And blockchain technology and Bitcoin, when conceived of as a digital currency, really empowers the individual and even enterprises to be able to make direct transactions of value without knowing or trusting necessarily their counterparty, without going through an intermediary like a bank or a sovereign government. And that's a totally new concept in the history of financial services.
It's exciting for the whole world, really, because I think it's going to change every industry ultimately, hopefully. I was wondering, is there any companies that you're passionate about at the moment?
Sure. So at Blockchain Capital, we've been in business for about 4.5 years. We have 41 portfolio companies, so we have a diversified approach to the sector. Some of the more well-known consumer-facing companies would be like a Coinbase, which is the world's largest exchange and Bitcoin wallet company. Another one of our companies, Chain, recently had a big announcement with Visa to leverage blockchain technology for small and intermediate businesses to be able to exchange value across borders, which is something where there's a lot of time and friction and cost. One of our more recent investment is a company called Tyrion. Tyrion allows enterprises to access the blockchain in a really easy sort of way to prove that a given business process has happened with a mathematical certainty. So you can prove that someone opened up your email, or you can timestamp a document and other people can refer to it. So that's kind of a proof engine, if you will. And so those are three of our more recent investments, and some of them, three of the 42 that we feel particularly bullish about.
Fantastic. And how do you see the future coming for FinTech? Like, what would you like to see happen?
It's a really exciting time to be in FinTech, frankly. I think Mark Andreessen is fond of saying that software is going to eat the world, and it tends to go after industries that I think are low-hanging fruit. Finance has been slower due to the high regulatory burden, and so, but that's changing now with brand new technology, whether it's peer-to-peer lending or kind of credit score 2.0s or robo-advisors or blockchain technology. There's a whole series of subsectors that are blossoming, kind of in the even though there is kind of a regulatory element like you would see in healthcare or financial services, the opportunity is so great. The markets are so massive. And blockchain in particular tends to draw a lot of passionate entrepreneurs that want to disrupt the system. There's a certain personality type that's drawn to disintermediation or taking aim at large, trusted, centralized institutions, and blockchain technology does exactly that. So there's a interesting confluence of entrepreneurial talent and capital at the same time.
Sort of like pioneers, aren't they?
Yeah, pioneers or pirates, depending on how you want to think of it. The Bitcoin and blockchain ecosystem is a diverse and eclectic industry. It draws hackers and anarchists and bankers and regulators all under the same tent. So it's never a dull moment, and it's a fun industry to be an investor in.
And tell me, has there been a fun or weird, unusual event happen to you as an investor?
Yeah, so I was at a conference, and I was giving a talk to a room full of regulators, and I was telling, they were intelligence and law enforcement officials, and I was talking about how Bitcoin in particular was perceived to be something that facilitated criminal transactions, and that's really a fallacy. All transactions on the blockchain are forensically trackable. And so my point to the law enforcement officials in the audience was that that Bitcoin, it should be their friend. The suitcase of $100 bills is an untrackable piece of value. Bitcoin transactions on the blockchain are forensically trackable, and ironically enough, at the end of my talk, an official from the New York Federal Reserve came up and asked me to give a talk at the New York Fed to go through that stuff. And before saying yes, I had a quid pro quo. I said that there's a lot of conspiracy theorists out there that didn't believe that the New York Federal Reserve had gold, in fact, in their basement. There was a action movie, Die Hard 3, based on this concept. And so I told him I'd be happy to give a talk at the New York Fed, but I wanted to get a tour of the gold vault. And sure enough, he did. And so for all the conspiracy theorists out there, the gold is indeed in the basement. I got to see it and touch it. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That is so awesome. Did you take a photo?
No photos allowed. No, guys with guns, no photos. Yeah.
Damn. But wow, you're living proof that it's there. That's fantastic. What a great story. Thank you for that.
Okay.
And I'll look forward to the panel tonight.
Happy to be here.